7 years ago, I picked up a camera and I thought I was going to be good at this fast, but I was wrong. Every mistake that I made out on the streets was some of the best photography education that I got. And I'm going to give that all to you here in the next 10 minutes. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Mike Patton, photographer, creative, and somebody who's still trying to figure this all out. On this channel, we help photographers grow. Iron sharpens iron, and today we're going to be sharpening something just a little bit different. Let's get into it. So the reason why I made this video is because there are a lot of beginners out there still asking some of the same questions I was asking years ago. And then reason two definitely comes into when I first started, I needed a video like this and I couldn't find one. And if you're out there in the middle between beginner and professional, then this could still be helpful to you or just help realign you for what you're trying to attain through photography. 7 years ago, I started with a kit lens, a camera, and a dream. And I thought that I was going to be able to go out and master this on my own, watching YouTube tutorials and Instagram reels. And I did learn some things from those mediums, but not a lot. The real lessons came from actually being out, actually doing and developing an eye. And a lot of that took time. It takes time and practice to really go out and start to develop your eye and what you're saying through your photography that YouTube and Instagram are just not going to be able to show you. 7 years ago, I started with a kit lens and a camera. I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials and I bought a lot of gear I didn't really understand at the time, just to look like I knew what I was doing. And I really thought that watching YouTube tutorials and scrolling on Instagram to study other photographers' art was going to teach me about photography. And I learned some things, but a lot of it didn't. And to be honest, a lot of what I learned happened out on the streets by doing. A lot of times when I missed a shot and there was no way to recreate it or to get that moment back. For the longest time when you start out, I realized I was hiding behind presets, copying other people's styles, and that really just came to light to show that I didn't really take the time to learn how to edit and really be able to hone in on my voice through the editing process. And for a while, even now sometimes, I questioned if it was worth it. And there were 7 things that I wish people had told me when I first started. And that's what I want to share with you here. And trust me, I'm not saying that this is the only way to do it, but hopefully these tips help you. And if they do, I would love to hear down below in the comments. Lesson 1, your camera doesn't make you a photographer, your eyes do. I spent way too long thinking that the next piece of gear was going to help improve my photography, instead of actually slowing down and really looking what's happening at the scene. What's happening with the light, what's happening in the background, the foreground. Those are things that really encompass and will make your photographs transform almost overnight. A Leica M11 in the hands of somebody that doesn't know what they're doing isn't photography. A phone in the hands of somebody that does know what they're doing is what makes a photograph. Stop waiting for your gear to catch up. You got to develop your eye first. Lesson 2, learn zone focusing. Now, this is more of a technical skill, and I would love to do a video on it if you guys want to learn about how to zone focus, but there are a lot of great videos out on YouTube covering this topic. You can look at King Japes' zone focus video. I think he does probably one of the best tutorials on zone focusing. But zone focusing, especially when it comes to street photography, is so helpful because you set your camera at a fixed aperture, let's say f8, f11, and then you set it at a minimum or maximum focal distance. So you say like 8 feet to 10, could be 10 to infinity, depending on your lens. And then you will photograph within that. What that does is that frees your mind from worrying if the photo is going to be in focus, because you know your focusing distance, and allows you really to just compose the scene and be able to focus more on what you're trying to say through your photography versus having to deal with the gears and dials on your camera. It just makes you faster. Therefore, you have more time to actually catch the scenes as they're developing. Lesson 3, you'll miss shots, and that's a part of it. I can't tell you how many times I've been out on the streets. I packed up because I thought the scene was dead. There was nothing happening in the area I was in, and looking to move to a new area to fish. And I miss a scene happen right as I'm packing up. Look, let me tell you, to be honest with you, it's going to happen. You're going to miss shots. You're not going to be a better photographer, or better photographers are not better just because of the amount of shots they don't miss. They're better because of their intentionality and the things that they are looking for when they're out on the streets, when it comes to actually creating and crafting a scene, and that's what makes them a better photographer. But they still miss shots. I mean, even your favorite photographer, whether on YouTube or just professional that you know from art shows and things like that, they have missed shots as well. And I'm sure that they would tell you, if you had a moment to speak with them, about some of the pivotal shots that they wish they had been ready and poised to get. Lesson 4, stop using presets as a shortcut. Now, don't get me wrong, presets are a great start to the editing process, and I have a video coming out about how to make presets in Lightroom, but presets are not the end all be all. They're not something that you should just slap on your photos and call it a day. You can usually tell somebody is a beginner when they would do something like that. We all did it when we started out, so this is not to chastise you if you're doing it currently. But presets are literally just a launch pad to the final edit, which should be your voice. And so you have to first understand the program itself that you're editing within, and then understand what the final results that you're trying to get with using the presets. You don't want to utilize the preset just off the basis of, oh, I have a preset, let me slap it on here and then post it, and that's going to be a great photo. Presets can actually also ruin your photography. A bad preset, or a preset that's too strong, could actually take away from the photo itself, thus destroying what would have ultimately been a good shot. So you want to make sure that you're using presets in a way that really complements your voice, and that you're not just copying somebody else's voice. Lesson 5, study real photographers, not just YouTube photographers. Look, now I get it. We're on YouTube right now. I am a photographer who makes YouTube videos. I do this for a living. And yes, I know the irony of it, but in all honesty, you want to study photographers like Gordon Parks, Vivian Meyer, all the names that people reference, Ansel Adams, all the people in your niche that are actually published photographers. They have books in your local library, in your local bookstore. You want to go pick up those books. And actually, I'll show you two of my favorite books, where we have this book here, Dream of Venice in Black and White. This is a really great book, and it's something that you should pick up. Definitely photography by Tiziano Scarpa. I've looked through this book a lot. All this is film photography. He was a photographer back in the 1920s during like the Polish War, and a lot of those skirmishes, even during the First World War. And definitely great book to look at. And then this one, In Focus, you want to pick up this one as well. This is another great photography showing some of the American, American, how can I say this? Showing some of the American Midwest and things like that during the 1899 to 1968. And so you want to definitely take a look at this as well. And there are a plethora of photographers that you can look at and glean from that aren't on social media. And the reason being is because a lot of this stuff is stylized. A lot of people that are quote unquote popular on social media are popular because they follow the algorithm, not necessarily because they have the technical skills that would make them somebody who's proficient and a professional in photography. And so you want to get those people that are published, look at their work, learn from it, see what you can glean from it. It's not to copy, it's just to see what is it about their eye that made them unique. And then how can you take that and then apply it to your own process as you're out there on the street. Lesson 6, your environment will make or break your growth. Look, I've had a lot of sessions with photographers in Atlanta when we're out on the streets, and they've shown me things that I've missed, things that I have not always looked at when it came to my work. And you need those people around you. Having a bunch of yes people and people who are just going to tell you that your work is great and you don't need to do anything to change are not people you really want to be around, because they either A, don't understand photography on a deep enough level, they two are just complimenting you to get you to move on and not ask them and question them, or three, they hadn't really actually studied what you do. They hadn't actually taken time to look deeply at what you're creating, to actually see what the impact is, or if it even speaks to them, and what could be wrong with the photograph, or what you could improve on. I love having people around, like my friend D, like my boy Pat over at Wings, that will consistently look at my work when I ask them to, and really give me a visual breakdown of what I've created and see if it speaks to them. Does it work? Is there something in the scene that I missed that is taken away from it? Is the composition off? All those things help to sharpen you, and that's why I say that photographers helping photographers grow. Iron sharpens iron. It's not just a saying that I thought was going to be catchy for the channel. It's something that I really do believe in, and something that I really take fervent when I have people around me. They must A, know what they're doing, so they have some proficiency in photography. Two, they must also actively be doing the thing. So I only take advice from people who are actively doing it or have done it for years. And then three, they must not just compliment my work. So always, even with shots that are really good, I always want there to be a semblance of, hey, okay, yes, this is a great shot, you did great, but here's something else to think about when tasked with a scene like this. And those things, again, are just going to help me be better and be sharper as a photographer. Lesson 7, know your deeper why. This is the last one, but the most important one. This is the one that kept me going, and one that I always try to return to is, why am I doing this? What is your deeper why? And it must be deeper than surface level things like subscribers, followers, money. All that type of stuff is stuff that is not going to keep you motivated. Even when you're starting a photography business, your deeper why must explain why you get up every day to do this. And so, for example, my deeper why is that I want to showcase the world through my eyes. I want to take everyday moments and show the beauty in everyday moments while I'm out on the street. And so that is the reason why I continue to do street photography and photography in general. And so your deeper why is your own thing. You have to sit with that, take a moment to really find out what is it that motivates you to go out and to capture your photography, no matter what niche you're in. And that way, that's gonna be your North Star, your guiding moment. When things get dark, when times get hard, that's gonna be the thing that will keep you going out on the street no matter what. All right, guys and girls, here's the thing. This is not about going viral, about gear, about the algorithm. Photography is a consistent lesson. It's something that you have to continuously work at. The people that you look up to in the photography space are people who spent years doing this. To be honest with you, I'm still in the sub-basement of this, the bottom of the bottom when it comes to photography, and I'm still learning. I've met people who've been doing this 40 years, and they still are finding things about photography that they're learning. And that right there is not sad, or it doesn't dismay me. It's very beautiful that you are in an art form where you can still be learning things every time that you go out. And the only way to get to the top, to be recognized as quote unquote one of the best, is to consistently show up and do this in earnest. Consistently go out there, make the sacrifices to really stamp your name on something, to say, hey, you know, this is my viewpoint. This is why I do this. This is what it says to me, and this is how I got here. And so you really have to be willing to put in the time. A lot of photographers want this to be a fast track thing. You get into it, you make money. I've ran into a lot of new photographers and people who are interested in the field to say, oh wow, I could get in this and I can make money. And we want people to really be about photography and not be a scam artist. Yes, there are a lot of people that make money, but there are a lot of scammers too. So if you get into this, let this be encouraging to you. Welcome. We want you to be great at this, but really give it some real thought on going out and actually in earnest practicing to be better at the art. So I want to ask you all, what's the biggest lesson that you guys have learned during street photography or photography in general? Drop that down in the comments below. Your journey can help somebody else grow. And I want to ask you guys to make sure that you like, comment, subscribe on this video, help the channel grow so I can keep bringing you all great videos. And like I always say, photographers helping photographers grow. Iron sharpens iron. And like always, man, I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Peace.